going on, guys? My name's Jason 3KB, and I'm here with a very, very special guest. He's been on the show you probably live in my room somewhere, and you just pop out when you feel like it, but who's with me today?
Me.
Elias Toufexis is back to talk about Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. So, I watched the trailer like 14 million times. Obviously, like when your game came out, it was my game of the year. Not kissing your ass here, but I am. I watched this trailer to see what I could see, and I know that you can't really confirm anything here, but just for the viewers out there that are watching the trailer in the background, Ivan Burke is that terrorist for sure. I mean, if you pause the footage here, you can see his name on the screen, so that is confirmed in the trailer. You can't say anything about it. I know that. Obviously, the game's not set in Montreal anymore. By the way, the Habs.
But it wasn't set in Montreal last time. It was set in Detroit last time. Well, the main.
Well, yeah.
But you went to Montreal.
We went to Montreal because the studio is in Montreal.
Yeah.
And they were like, we need to show off our city. By the way, the Habs won last night.
I know. I'm very.
You're very excited. I walked by a bar and saw that, and I went, Elias is happy. So the game, obviously. One of the settings is Prague, so in the Czech Republic. By the way, I spelled Czech wrong there, but whatever.
Yeah, Czech.
I don't know why.
C-H-E-C-K.
Actually, I was using Surrey. She didn't do a good job.
Surrey.
And I think that's extremely interesting because the bad guy clearly is Russian, and I know that you can't really say anything about that, but I did notice, for instance, he's got old tech on him, which kind of, it's... To me, it's extremely interesting, and I don't know what that's telling us, but to me, it's amazing. Then
he looks really, really cool. I like his big...
It's more like a bulky, kind of like he reminds me of a giant transformer almost.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely different tech in the game, and you learn more about that as the story goes on.
So augmentations, obviously you can't say anything really other than...
Well, anything specific.
We saw a cloaking, the cloaking shield is obviously back in there. Mm-hmm. And I did notice that your weapon in the game seems to be almost a transformer. It's going from like non-lethal to lethal on the fly. You can't confirm that, although that's what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I love what I did. What we did show, the non-lethal and the lethal takedowns, and how you can switch back and forth. I think player choice is what
we're going for.
Is what we're going for more than anything, more than even the last game.
So we also have Illuminati is obviously back in the series. It's always been something that's been kind of, on the surface, also hidden in the game. Mm-hmm. This time around, it looks like it might be a little bit deeper in terms of Illuminati. I don't know if you.
Well, I think Jensen last game he was kind of. I don't know, maybe not non-believer as to people in charge of everything, mm-hmm. And then by the end of the game, he kind of comes to grips with the reality of it. And then in this one, he wants to take them down, and he's working for a task force. And at the same time he's working for the task force, he's working secretly for another organization to see if people in the task force can lead him to maybe people who work for the Illuminati. It's I'm kind of being very vague about the whole thing, but...
Well, I don't think you could say much more than that. Now, here's... I watched the trailer a million times, and I did notice, there's tons of religious imagery throughout the trailer. For instance, Adam's hand reaching out to a human's hand. Obviously... The original is God's reaching out to Adam's hand. Yeah. So, what does that mean? What is all this religious stuff? I mean,
they kept imagery from the last game, right? Not necessarily religious. I mean, there's religious imagery. Look, the guy's name is Adam.
Yeah.
Right. He's the first. I mean, this is going back to the last game, but he's the first really augmented person that doesn't need the drugs to keep him alive.
Yeah.
So he's a Jesus figure, no doubt. In the last game, you had the Icarus myth of flying too close to the sun, which is what was great about the last trailer. And in this game, that myth is still there. I mean, how many times do you see wings?
Yeah, I was just going to bring up when he's in the water. You got the sort of light that splashes down across. Yeah. You've got his wings there. Yeah. At the end of the trailer, there's a bit of wings. I love that they really spend a lot of time on these trailers. I mean, when we saw the first Deus Ex trailer at E3, whatever year that was, 3 or 4 years ago, that was like, that had everyone locked in.
Yeah.
And this is just on par with that. It feels
It is,
like,
yeah. I was really, I mean, I was worried. I hadn't seen the trailer. And then a week before they revealed it, they showed it to me. And yeah, I freaked out, man. It was so cool. Because I was worried. I was thinking, how are you going to top that?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious on your side of things when something like this is kind of out of your control to a certain degree. I mean, they give you a script, they go, here's a story. Like, how much do you get worried? Or you're like, I hope it's good, and then you read and you're like, okay, I don't feel as...
Yeah, I mean,
the trailer, right?
The great thing about this, and actually the trailer is a perfect example, the great thing about this game now is the fact that I've played Jensen before and I came back, it became much more, collaborative than it usually was.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, obviously we can't talk about details of what you collabed on, but now you did mention that you're doing full motion on Adam this time
Yeah,
around.
full performance capture.
And so in the past game, it was like you did the voice and did some of it, or
Yeah, I did the voice. I did some. They filmed me a bit for some of the animation, but for the most part, it was just voice. And they had another actor who's a friend of mine do his body. But this time, because the technology has advanced so much, it's me doing the body, me doing the face,
Nice.
and me doing the voice, of course.
So absolutely everything.
Everything. It's like any Andy Serkis performance that comes to mind.
So when you're doing motion capture stuff, are we talking about physical green screen kind of type sets that you're stepping into?
To a degree, it's basically for any game. I did this with Unity, Assassin's Creed Unity. I did it with Blacklist. Is you're in a giant room with probably, I think there's something like 45 cameras, but they only capture data. And you have the markers all over your body in the tight suit. You have a camera on your face. There's usually markers on your face too. Mm-hmm. And you have a mic on the camera. So basically, as an actor, you just have to perform like any other scene.
That's got to be difficult in certain aspects.
It's difficult with Jensen because Jensen is he's almost subliminally subtle.
Yeah.
And he has glasses on a lot of the time. And I don't know if you watch anything that I do on film or TV. My eyes are a big part of the way I perform on camera.
Absolutely, yes.
And so I have to kind of forget that style and go into a different style for Jensen. Although there are going to be parts in the game where he doesn't have his sunglasses on that I think bring a little bit of more emotional impact. But Jensen, for the most part, he's a cool customer, right? And I was going to say about the collaboration is that the trailer is a great example. Because they gave me the original script for the trailer, we recorded it, we all sat down and watched it, the marketing team, the directors, and myself. And then we all talked about it, and there were some things we liked and some things we didn't like. Mm-hmm. And we all gave notes, and then they rewrote it, and then we all sat down again, loved it, and re-recorded it. The difference is, the trailer is a CG trailer, so I didn't do any performance capture for it. So I just was in a booth doing the voice, and then I had to see it later. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, we got it.
Yeah.
It was a little different than we originally had it, but better.
See, I love the fact that you had more collaboration sort of power in this.
Yeah, I mean, it's less about power, more about just being able to speak up.
Well, being able to be like, now I've done this one game, I think maybe it would be
that's what
his
it is,
choice.
right?
Yeah, it's nice to see that.
I'm able to talk to the writers and the directors and things like that and say, look, I know I don't feel comfortable saying this because I don't think Adam would say it this way, and then I would change it, or they would change it for me, to be specific. And there's every now and again there's something that Adam would do that I would be like, this doesn't feel right, and then we would just talk about it and then we'd fix it. You
know what's amazing? I met you at Fan Expo like years ago, years and years ago, and they had you stuffed in a corner.
That was my first convention. I didn't know what to ask for or what to do.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
Just to see, we walked around a corner, saw the poster, and I said, who's that? Why is that there? And that was after the trailer came out and the game was clearly going to be something different, something amazing.
Was it before the game came out even?
I'm pretty sure it was before the game came out. Or the game was just about to come out.
Yeah, or something like that.
And now I hope that you get a whole stage this time.
Well, now it's different. Now, after the game came out, and I've done a bunch of sci-fi shows since then, so it's now it's very much, I have my own time and place to sit, and we do a whole bunch of panels and stuff like that. But that was my first one. It was a really interesting experience.
So I've kind of like followed your gaming career in a sense. Like when I met you there, that was your first time, and to me, it's amazing to see you just rise through all of this. I gotta ask, like, what does it feel like to have that game come out and be such a success, both ends of the spectrum, but then not only that, you're doing crazy other things on top of this that maybe some people don't even know what you're doing. So do you want to talk about some of the things that are not related to the game? For instance, you're in every goddamn Canadian commercial ever. Like if
commercial.
If I like you're voice acting. Like if I turn on TV, I'm like, oh, I feel like Tim Hortons because you're pushing me there. I want to go get a Lexus all of a sudden because like you're talking in a Lexus commercial or.
Well, I mean, as an actor, what you do is you just try to pay bills, right? Essentially, I consider myself a working actor, a character actor. I'm not in this to be a big movie star. Mm-hmm. So as long as I make enough money that I can feed my kids and pay my mortgage and things like that, that's all I want. And
in Toronto, by the way,
in very expensive Toronto, which is all I want. That's all I really wanted to do. So, I mean, I'm very lucky in the fact that I get to go to work and be Adam Jensen, or I get to go to work and be characters from different TV shows and things like that.
Supernatural. Which what's really funny is Kat started watching that, and all of a sudden
I think she texted me or she sent me a Twitter message or something.
Yeah, she didn't know you were in it, and I was in my room, and all of a sudden I heard like ah, and I was like, what is
I'm glad
happening?
I make her scream like that.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is happening? And she's like, look. I'm like, I know. So here's the question: when's DC gonna call you to be in one of their, huge shows that they got going on now? It's only
actually, I just finished. It's funny. I don't really love any of the comic book shows that are out there. I don't really like them, except Daredevil.
What? I'm the opposite of that.
You don't like Daredevil?
I'll be honest. I haven't watched Arrow. I haven't watched Flash. I haven't watched any of that because I'm kind of one of those people that waits until it's all out and then I'll watch it all at once. But I'll be honest, Daredevil to me was extremely overhyped. Why do you like that?
Because it's gritty, realistic, and character based.
No, I get that. But I mean, it's
and then not every week is another super villain.
Yeah,
that's
true.
what bothers me about the DC shows. It's just every week there's another.
So basically, what you're saying is you're not going to be on here.
No, I hope I am. I hope I am, and I could bring some subtlety to some of the characters. I'm losing work as I'm talking.
Yeah, you just lost 3 jobs. They literally were like, oh wait, no.
No, I mean, I don't know, man. I audition for what comes my way, and I'm in a lucky position where I can say yes or no to certain.
Which is amazing.
Certain things, yeah.
It's amazing now. You got to get on the X-Files show. Can I just say that?
Yeah, how many episodes are they doing?
They're doing 6 episodes. I believe they might be sort of formatted like mini movies that connect to each other. But I mean, it is in Canada.
Yeah, they're probably doing it in Vancouver.
It is in Vancouver again. Who do we have to call to get you on that? Because
I'll deal with it.
You should be on that show. Were you a fan of the X-Files when it was?
I was, yeah.
Because I always sit around and go, I talk to so many voice actors. I'm like, these people are amazing for certain roles, but you never actually get to see them in these roles. So you need to go on X-Files, is what I'm saying.
I met Gillian Anderson actually at a convention a few months ago. She was very lovely.
Yeah, I'll get her number after.
All right.
So in closing, everybody's been talking about Star Wars. I know you're a huge, huge fan of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
You got to say something about what's happening with Episode 7. Are you happy? I know that Abrams, in terms of Star Trek, wasn't your first choice.
No, it's not so much that Abrams wasn't my first choice. I think J.J. Abrams was fine.
It was the writing.
The writing was terrible in the Star Trek movies.
What do you mean? You don't like the Transformers movies either?
So the writing was the bad thing about the Star Trek movies. I thought J.J. Abrams was fine, actually. I think he did a great job. Actually, the thing that I always said was, when I heard that J.J. Abrams was doing Star Wars, I thought, well, it's perfect. He turned Star Trek into Star Wars anyway. It's like he got the Star Trek job and said, well, I kind of always wanted to make Star Wars, so let me make my version of Star Wars with the Star Trek characters. Mm-hmm. And then they gave him Star Wars, and now I think he's going to do a great job. I mean, who didn't friggin' cry at the end of that
trailer?
Every male our age I know who saw it teared up.
I think it started as soon as you see Vader's mask. Any theories on that? Spoiler alert. Why is his mask there? Do you have a theory?
I don't know. Maybe Luke grabbed it after the funeral pyre at the end of Jedi.
I have a theory. The fire went out. I have a theory, but I think I'm pretty dead on it. Do you want to hear my theory?
Sure.
I'm positive that the baddie in this, I'm not going to even get into the details of names and everything, but obviously I've been watching that trailer over and over. I think the baddie in this is obsessed with Darth Vader, and he's trying to relive Darth Vader's life.
That's interesting.
So he's the reason why that's there. I think he goes back and finds it, and he's basically studying the past of, Sith Lords, and he's
right,
he's obsessed with it.
That's a cool idea.
I doubt, why would Luke go get the mask?
I think the Ewoks took the mask
and wore it around during the celebration,
and then realized that they wanted to take over the universe, and they called this guy.
So
it's this guy and what was it, Wicket? Was that the name of the Ewok?
Yeah.
Yeah. And because apparently Warwick Davis is in the movie, right?
Yeah, everybody's
Wicket's
in the movie, but did you tear up for when you saw Harrison Ford?
Oh my God, who didn't? I barely heard the rest. The second I heard Chewie, I started sobbing like Matthew McConaughey.
So you basically do have a lot of hope here, or after episode 1, 2, and 3, are you kind of like, I'll wait and see? Or is this trailer...
I think it's going to be great.
It's going to be amazing.
I honestly think it's going to be good. I mean, I was wrong. Last time we did one of these things, I thought that the character in Dark Knight Rises wasn't going to be Robin, because I thought that would be dumb.
Well, guess what?
And it was dumb.
It was dumb. Yeah. So in closing, what do you have? What are you working on? Anything you can say right now about anything else? Like, are you doing?
The only thing I could talk about is there's this show in Sci-Fi called The Expanse, which is I think going to premiere at the end of the year, beginning of next. I don't know yet.
I do see the posters everywhere
for The Expanse.
Yeah, I'm starting to see them all over the place. There's like ads on, when you get an ad on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
It's like popping up there.
Yeah. Okay. It's coming. It's big. I think I don't remember what the budget was, but it was huge.
Nice.
And I saw a lot of it, and it looks incredible. I play a major character in that from episode 6 on or 5 on, I think, until the end of the season. And Thomas Jane is the lead in it. Stephen Strait, and a whole bunch of great actors. Cass Anvar, who plays Altair in Assassin's Creed.
Nice.
He's in it. He and I have a bunch of scenes together, so it's Altair and Adam Jensen hanging out in space. It's kind of like the new. They're hyping it as kind of like the new Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, really?
That's the way they're hyping it. It's a different type of story, but equally as vast, and takes place 300 years in the future.
Well, right now that's pretty good to go on television with something like that, because we don't have Star Trek, we don't have.
Yeah, it's really getting back to sci-fi roots. So if you're a sci-fi fan, I think The Expanse is something you're gonna love.
Awesome, man. So any cons coming up?
Yeah, I mean,
so
I think
people can come meet you.
I think I'm gonna be at San Diego in July. I think I'm definitely gonna be in Texas at the end of July, and I think I got a couple coming up. And follow me on Twitter, and I'll blatantly self-promote.
Give us a world exclusive now. Are you wearing the same socks in the game from the first?
I don't. I wear the same socks every time I dress up to play Adam.
No,
Jensen.
not you personally. Is Adam Jensen wearing as a world exclusive?
If I am, then by definition he is.
So there you go. World exclusive. He's got the same socks from the first game. So, I mean, I didn't hear that anywhere else.
Yeah, they're augmented socks. They don't smell.
They clean themselves?
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much, guys, for watching. I'm going to put up his what other? You got a website? You got all sorts of things.
Yeah, just put Twitter.
Twitter? No, you don't want to tell the website now, eh?
The website's my name.
Maybe there's. Oh, okay, that was easy. There's probably some secrets there, isn't there?
Yeah, I put it. That's what I do. The marketing team at Eidos and Square Enix love me because I put all my secrets on the website.
By the way, last thing I want to bring up here is I'm going to go to Square Enix in Montreal. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, you mean Eidos? Yeah, in Eidos. You're gonna go try to tour Eidos Montreal.
Basically, yeah. And I don't think
there's no way they're gonna let you in.
Yeah, I don't think they know I'm coming, but I'm gonna try to get in there.
I can't even get in there without going through. I literally have to. Every time I go to work, I show up at the front desk. They bring me downstairs to meet somebody else to bring me to where I have to go.
Shout out to Ubisoft Toronto, who I've been trying to... I just want to do an episode where you and I bake cookies in the kitchen.
At Ubisoft Toronto?
Yeah, at Ubisoft Toronto, and it's not even in the studio, and they won't even let me in there to do that. They keep saying no.
Oh, the kitchen's right next to the front desk. Yeah.
Like you live in the wellness room there, right?
Yeah, that's where I live. I live in the basement of Ubisoft Toronto.
Yep.
They feed me a bucket of fish heads every week.
They're like, get back in Assassin's Creed again. By the way, you're doing the next Assassin's Creed, right?
I don't even know if there is another Assassin's Creed. This time I'm literally not lying. I lied to you about Deus Ex for 2 years, but...
All right, so thanks for being a liar. Thanks for coming back on the show. And another thing, a lot of people ask me this, if you would be coming back and playing the new game whenever it is released.
Yeah.
To do sort of a sequel to what we did originally.
Sure, yeah. If I'm in town,
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be
down.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, what are you moving to? Your big Hollywood guy now? You're leaving town?
I go where the work takes me, that's all.
Awesome, man. So thanks once again. Thanks for watching, guys. And hopefully you'll be back.
Cool, man.
Thanks so much, guys.